drink. The water. Bring me wine.
The final episodes of Game of Thrones smashed viewership records for the series, proving that, like its Mother of Dragons, it's got the love of the masses, of course, until they didn't. Season 8's episodes were extremely divisive among both critics and fans on social media, and several of those episodes were battling for last place on the tomato meter. From creators David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, the show is based on author George R.R. Martin's book series and released 73 episodes since it first began airing on HBO in 2011.
You're a warrior. I'm alive. You're alive. Did we win?
We wouldn't be having this conversation if we didn't.
So for this countdown, we are ranking the highest rated episodes of Game of Thrones, with ties being broken by the number of reviews each episode received. For 5.5 seasons, the series managed to stay entirely fresh. Of course, not every episode reached 100% on the tomato meter, but there were no rotten episodes to be seen until Unbowed, Unbent, Unbroken from season 5, which was the only rotten episode until May 2019.
Neither Joffrey nor any of his men shall set foot in our lands again. If he disregards this command, he shall suffer the same fate as my father. Only, I don't need a servant to do my beheading for me.
The most episodes in the top 10 are actually from season 3, with seasons 4 and 5 following close behind. And by the way, season 4 has the highest season level score out of all 8 seasons at 97% on the tomato meter, while season 6 saw an episode average of 94%. So as you can see, we're focusing on the good, so let's take a trip to Westeros and count down the best Game of Thrones episodes ranked by tomato meter. And just in case you haven't seen all of Game of Thrones, this is your official spoiler warning. Number 10, Season 2, Episode 1, The North Remembers. Tyrion arrives in King's Landing to counsel Joffrey, and Stannis Baratheon plots an invasion to claim his late brother's throne. Meanwhile, Daenerys and her 3 dragons search for allies in water, and Bran presides over a threadbare Winterfell. Starring Peter Dinklage, Stephen Delane, Emilia Clarke, and directed by Alan Taylor. Critics say The North Remembers underscores Joffrey's capacity for cruelty and Tyrion's development as a key player in a compelling sophomore season opener.
We looked for you on the battlefield. You were nowhere to be found.
I've been here ruling the kingdoms.
What a fine job you've done. Look at you. More beautiful than ever. And you're going to be bigger than the Hound, but much better looking. This one doesn't like me.
Can't imagine why.
We heard you were dead.
I'm glad you're not dead.
Me too, dear.
Death is so boring, especially now with so much excitement in the world. My lady, I'm sorry for your loss.
Her loss? Her father was a confessed traitor.
But still her father. Surely having so recently lost your own beloved father, you can sympathize.
My father was a traitor. My mother and brother are traitors too. I am loyal to my beloved Joffrey.
Of course you are.
Number 9, Season 3, Episode 10, Misa. Joffrey challenges Tywin, Bran tells a ghost story, and Daenerys waits to see if she is a conqueror or a liberator. Starring Jack Gleeson, Charles Dance, Emilia Clarke, and directed by David Nutter. Critics say, Misa wraps up several of Season 3's lingering storylines, while subtly setting the table for Season 4.
Gemele meli sitibilos. Lomiri ziri, mesmalgon bestila. Tolvis jevis.
Misa! Misa!
What does it mean? It is old Cascari, Khaleesi. It means mother. It's all right. These people won't hurt me.
Number 8, Season 3, Episode 5, Kissed by Fire. The Hound is judged by the gods. Meanwhile, Jaime makes a dramatic confession, and beyond the wall, Jon proves himself to a new friend. At the River Run, Robb Stark is betrayed, and Tyrion Lannister learns the cost of weddings. Starring Nikolai Coster-Waldau, Gwendolyn Christie, Kit Harington, and directed by Alex Graves. Critics say, despite lacking the big action reveals of the previous episode, Kissed by Fire is anchored by a devastatingly intimate scene between Brienne and Jaime, and plenty of Lannister intrigue.
Once again, I came to the king, begging him to surrender. He told me to bring him my father's head. Then he turned to his pyromancer. Burn them all, he said. Burn them in their homes, burn them in their beds. Tell me if your precious Renly commanded you to kill your own father and stand by while thousands of men, women, and children burned alive, would you have done it? Would you have kept your oath then?
Number 7, Season 3, Episode 4, and now his watch is ended. The Night's Watch takes stock, and Varys meets his better. Arya is taken to the commander of the Brotherhood, and Daenerys makes an exchange. Starring Maisie Williams, Emilia Clarke, Conleth Hill, and directed by Alex Graves. Critics say, and now his watch is ended is an enthralling meditation on betrayal and revenge, bolstered by a mind-blowing surprise for those who would underestimate Daenerys Targaryen.
Dovageris! Naijon mevatas! Geletis!
Vetra, Sparrow, vivito magis.
Zaldrizes buzdaris gosdaor.
Raji valire.
Nige Daenerys gel masmo en Targaryen lentrot. En Valeria wipoana garixan. Valeria munioengos nuhis isa. Novagedi! Axios entas, mentios entas. Kiloni pilos lue vale dolvios in etas. Inini odrigatas. Urne lue dolve prijatas. Dracarys.
Number 6, Season 3, Episode 9, The Reigns of Castelre. Robb Stark finally presents himself to Walder Frey at Edmure's wedding. Meanwhile, Jon faces a harsh test, and Bran discovers a new gift. Dario and Jorah debate, and House Frey joins with House Tully. Starring Richard Madden, Michelle Fairley, Kit Harington, and directed by David Nutter. Critics say the most unforgettable episode of Game of Thrones thus far, The Reigns of Castelre, or as it shall forever be known, The Red Wedding, packs a dramatic wallop that feels as exquisitely shocking as it does ultimately inevitable.
Lord Walder! Lord Walder, enough! Let it end! Please. He is my son. My first son. Let him go, and I swear we will forget this. I swear it by the All Gods and you. We will take no vengeance.
You already swore me one oath right here in my castle. You swore by all the gods your son would marry my daughter!
Take me for a hostage, but let Robb go. Robb, get up. Get up and walk out. Please. Please!
And why would I let him do that?
On my honor as a Tully. On my honor as a Stark. Let him go, or I will cut your wife's throat.
I'll find another.
Mother.
The Lannisters send their regards.
Number 5, Season 5, Episode 3, High Sparrow. In King's Landing, Queen Marjorie enjoys her new husband. At the Wall, Jon Snow has to make a tough decision, and meanwhile, Tyrion and Varys walk the long bridge of Volantis. Starring Kit Harington, Natalie Dormer, Peter Dinklage, and directed by Mark Mylod. Critics say High Sparrow expertly weaves together characters from Game of Thrones' sprawling stories, though the episode ultimately belongs to Jon Snow, whose new position highlights unexpected qualities.
Take Lord Janis outside. Ollie, bring me my sword.
I cannot do this! Get your hands off me! Scum! All of you! If the boy thinks he can frighten me, he's mistaken. Yes, very mistaken. That disgrace! I have friends, important friends in the capital. You'll see.
If you have any last words, my lord, now's the time.
Number 4, Season 5, Episode 8, Hardhome. Arya makes progress with her training, Sansa confronts an old friend, and Cersei finds herself struggling and Jon travels. Starring Maisie Williams, Sophie Turner, Lena Headey, and directed by Miguel Sapochnik. Critics say, following several episodes of setup, Hardhome blends a sharp script with spectacular blockbuster action to offer viewers a powerful, game-changing payoff. Number 3, Season 4, Episode 2, The Lion and the Rose. After their wedding, Joffrey and Marjorie host a breakfast that ends with a dark surprise. Stannis loses patience with Davos, and Ramsay finds a purpose for his pet. Starring Jack Gleeson, Peter Dinklage, Ewan Rion, and directed by Alex Graves. Critics say the perfect pacing of The Lion and the Rose leads to one of the most excruciating and gratifying sequences in the series.
Where are you going? You're my cupbearer, remember?
I thought I might change out of these wet clothes, Your Grace.
No. No, you're perfect the way you are. Serve me my wine. Hurry up, this pie is dry. Good. Needs washing down.
If it please your grace, Lady Sansa is
No.
very tired.
No, you'll wait here. I'm...
Your grace.
It's nothing.
He's choking! Help the poor boy! Idiots, help your king!
Move away! Joffrey!
Joffrey!
Come with me now.
Joffrey! Joffrey!
If you want to leave, you have to leave.
Don't touch Joffrey!
Number 2, Season 4, Episode 7, Mockingbird. Tyrion gains an unlikely ally. Daario asks Dany to allow him to do what he does best, and Jon's warnings about the vulnerability of the wall are ignored. And Brienne follows a new lead. Starring Peter Dinklage, Emilia Clarke, Kit Harington, and directed by Alec Sakharov. Critics say, though Mockingbird mostly sets the table for future events, it remains chock full of action, suspense, surprise, and raw human emotion.
You want her? This empty-headed child.
Let her go.
She's just like her mother. She'll never love you. I lied for you. I killed for you. Why did you bring her here? Why?
I'll send her away. I swear on my life. I swear to all the gods. Let her go, Lysa. Oh, my sweet wife. My sweet, silly wife. I have only loved one woman. Only one. My entire life. Your sister.
And before we reveal number 1, here are some honorable mentions. Season 1, Episode 9, Baelor. Ned makes a decision, Robb captures a prize prisoner, and Daenerys finds her reign in jeopardy. Starring Sean Bean, Jason Momoa, Emilia Clarke, and directed by Alan Taylor. Critics say, varying slightly from the source material, Baelor sports excellent performances and a bold, unprecedented climax.
This man has confessed his crimes in sight of gods and men. The gods are just, but beloved Baelor taught us they can also be merciful. What is to be done with this traitor, Your Grace?
My mother wishes me to let Lord Eddard join the Night's Watch. Stripped of all titles and powers, he would serve the realm in permanent exile. And my Lady Sansa has begged mercy for her father. But they have the soft hearts of women. So long as I am your king, treason shall never go unpunished. Sir Ilyn, bring me his head.
Season 2, Episode 6, The Old Gods and the New. The Lannisters send Myrcella away from King's Landing to avoid her from being harmed. Meanwhile, Arya has a surprise visitor, Dany makes a vow, and Robb and Lady Stark receive crucial news, and Jon gets a chance to prove himself. Starring Lena Headey, Michelle Fairley, Kit Harington, and directed by David Nutter. Critics say, thanks to a balance of thrilling action, complex character work, and a savage twist, The Old Gods in the New justifies its deviation from the source material.
Do you know Illyrio Monpatis, Magistar of Pentos?
Yes, we've met. A shrewd man.
For my wedding, he gave me 3 petrified dragon eggs. He believed, the world believed, that the ages had turned them to stone. How many centuries had it been since dragons roamed the skies? But I dreamt that if I carried those eggs into a great fire, they would hatch. When I stepped into the fire, my own people thought I was mad. But when the fire burned out, I was unhurt. The mother of dragons. Do you understand? I'm no ordinary woman. My dreams come true.
I admire your passion. But in business, I trust in logic, not passion. I'm sorry, little princess.
I am not your little princess. I am Daenerys Stormborn of the blood of old Valyria, and I will take what is mine. With fire and blood, I will take it.
Yes, my lady, but not with my ships.
Season 2, Episode 9, Blackwater. Tyrion and the Lannisters fight for their lives as Stannis' fleet attacks King's Landing. Starring Peter Dinklage, Lena Headey, Stephen Delane, and directed by Neil Marshall. Critics say Game of Thrones delivers a thrilling tour de force in Blackwater, an epic hour of blockbuster television full of spectacular battle sequences and equally powerful drama.
Walt! Oh! There's no one on board.
Wildfire.
Steer clear! Steer clear! Get down!
And finally, number 1, Season 6, Episode 4, Book of the Stranger. Tyrion strikes a deal. Jorah and Dario engage in a difficult task, and both Jaime and Cersei try to improve their situation. Starring Peter Dinklage, Lena Headey, Nikolai Coster-Waldau, and directed by Daniel Sackheim. Critics say Book of the Stranger's warm reunions, new alliances, and exquisitely fiery finale is Game of Thrones at its best.
She get your fee. Asher Gilikath Asilakira.
Ieri você aqui. Ieri vadrivoi.
that about does it for us. Be sure to stay tuned to the Rotten Tomatoes channel for more of the entertainment content you love. And until next time, I'm your host, Naz Perez, and we'll see you back here for more top 10s on the Rotten Tomatoes Countdown.